Yeah, I bet you Dave's already cut his grass. Maybe even twice.
No, I haven't, Forman, because it's been so crappy. I haven't, but
I need to.
it does need to be cut. It will be cut this week. It's not, my grass looks awful, and I know it's hard.
Really? I'm shocked.
Yeah, I had
Well, by your standards.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
probably
but I
looks
had
the best in the
voles.
neighborhood still.
The
Yeah,
voles
to everyone else,
were-
it looks like a golf green.
The
Still.
voles are back?
No, the voles were under the snow, and then when it all melted, I saw like there were tracks and crap everywhere. Like it's
Oh,
just
my
a
goodness.
mess. Oh, it's horrible.
How do you get rid of voles again?
You try.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't put that in.
Yeah.
Your face is really bright, Dave. Can you turn down your light?
It's already. I can turn it off. Would you like me to do that?
Yeah.
I guess.
Entirely.
It's off.
Turn it all off.
That's not off.
It is off. All the
didn't
lights
change.
are off.
Nothing
I know.
changed. You have a big glare on your forehead.
It's always there.
Oh, there we go.
There's the difference. Oh, no.
I don't know. I can put the light back on, but it's always the same.
Okay. Why do you have a candle going, Forman? That's very romantic.
Oh, it's just, Sparkle.
too bright?
Sparkle Candle Company. It's a creme brulee scent.
Ooh. Lovely.
Is it too bright now?
I didn't know you
or
were a
what?
candle kind of guy.
Still too bright?
It's okay.
You told
fine,
me
I
to get a
guess.
ring
No,
light.
it's
That's
fine.
the ring light.
Okay.
That's the only light on, other than the lights up above, and they're
Right.
not very bright.
Yeah,
They're
no.
not
it's,
even
It's
above
better
me.
now. It's better. Okay. Let's go.
Okay. Nobody
Washed
wants
out
to,
Dave and romantic Forman.
Yeah. Okay. Nobody wants to open a beer for me.
I have one.
No. I had a pop already and I finished.
Oh, okay.
I'm fearing I'm going to be buying you some beer soon, Dave. But
The Sens are doing very
That has
badly.
nothing to do with it. Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's go then. This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast with Dave, Rachel, and Forman that's just about as much fun as doing your taxes.
I mean, I think we're a little more fun than that. Maybe less fun if you get a refund, though.
It all depends. It just all depends on how you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up on the fun podcast, the fun is doing your taxes. I have some headlines.
yeah.
Lovely. Okay.
I figured it was about time.
Yes.
Forman apparently has impressed everyone at his new job.
Wow.
He's going to tell us
Wow, everyone.
how to impress people at work from
Okay.
Forman.
How to
And-
win friends and influence people.
That's right.
How not to arrive at your first staff meeting.
Oh, boy. Okay.
And Rachel, what's up with you?
Well, Easter, the Easter Bunny, actually, and Santa together at once. Yeah.
Okay, wait a second. They
Don't typically go together.
well, unless you're watching one of those Santa Claus movies.
In the
but
Santa
they're-
Claus. That's what I said. They're both
Yeah,
in the
they're-
Santa Claus. Yeah.
That's a terrible. The one with the Easter
That's
Bunny
like
and the
Santa
Tooth Fairy.
Claus 3. No one cares about that.
Yeah, they're
Well, all the
terrible
creature,
movies.
all the, the Tooth Fairy, and they all have a meeting, and they all.
I said what I
They're
said.
called.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're terrible movies. Terrible.
All right.
movies.
Well, this part isn't for kids. Okay, so if you are listening to this with a child, maybe don't.
I'll tell you what, kids would be yucking up that taxes joke. Damn, that's funny, Dave. Thank you
That
for
one
that.
was for the kids.
Yeah.
Looking up the time.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Well,
That's right.
I mean, if we didn't put them off with that, put them off now on purpose. Okay.
Yeah, if this is on in the car, maybe save it
this
for later
part.
and some headphones.
This is your warning. Yeah, you can just skip to the next part, which is Forman and his "How to Win Friends and Influence People" speech. So
Yeah, kids love
His
office
speech.
drama.
No,
Office
it's a speech. That's what kids love. Yeah.
office drama with Forman. Okay, we should have that as since you're the only one going to an office, that should be a new ongoing office drama with Foreman. What's happening? You can,
Okay, well, that's what we'll call it now.
Sure.
It was something else, but we'll call it office drama with Forman.
Yeah.
How's that?
Okay. All right. Anyway, back to me. At Easter, I had a conversation with my oldest daughter, who, if you recall, at Christmas time, she asked me if the elf on the shelf was real,
Uh-oh.
and I told her no.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So she found out that the elf on the shelf was real because she said, "I think you're the one moving it, Mom." And I said, yeah, you're right.
Obviously.
Yeah. So she's going to be 12 this year, and she held on for a good. I knew she had her suspicions because for the last 2 years, she'd kind of asked me about Santa like I think twice in 1 year. She said, "Is Santa real?" And I was like, "Do you really want to know?" And she said, "No, I don't." And so I said, "Okay." So you can, that's fine. And
I guess that's a good answer. I mean, I don't know.
If
you
she's
didn't
asking,
want to just say, of course.
Well, I think I said, of course, the first time. And then the second time she asked me, like a couple weeks later, I said, "Do you really want to know?" And she was
Do
like,
you really want to
no.
know is basically saying no.
you just said no.
You told her no.
I know.
You told
but
her
she's
no.
still asking, right? She's asked twice now. So she's still...
What's
the first,
wrong with the old standby? I don't know. I've never seen him.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well,
and deflect.
You know, was
Yes.
11 or 10 at the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I've never seen him. Ask your dad.
Right. So this year she didn't ask about Santa, but she did ask about the elf on the shelf. And she's like, I think I know. And I said, yeah, you're right. And so the whole thing was, now you're in on it. Now you're in on the magic and you have to help. So she really got into planning out and moving the elf, which was fun for her, right? So now I said it's still fun.
So you took her straight from childhood fantasy
into
adulthood. Yeah, that
absolutely.
Sucks. That really is. What a horrible thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So on the Saturday before Easter, she says to me, just the Saturday night, she's like, "Is the Easter?" She's like, Mom, I got something to ask you. And she was going to ask me in front of a bunch of kids. And I was like, "What are you?" And she's like, "Oh, I'll ask you later." I said, "Okay." And so then she asked me privately later, "Mom, is the Easter bunny real?" And I said, "No." And she was like, "Okay, I thought so." And then I can't remember if it was during the same conversation or a little bit later that same day. She said, "Is Santa real?" And I said, "No."
Oh, wow.
I know.
Oh, it's
like, well, what? Like, while we're on the topic, right? She hasn't asked me about the tooth fairy yet. And I wonder if she thinks if she knows they're not real, maybe she won't get eggs or maybe she won't get presents from Santa, right? So maybe that's why she didn't want to ask for a little bit. So then we were talking about Santa and the Easter Bunny not being real. And then she said, "Well, was Santa ever real? Did he die?" And I was like, I think there was a Saint Nicholas that Santa is based on. Or I don't know. What's the guy in Europe? Is there not the scary
Sinterklaas.
Sinterklaas and whatever.
Oh, Gijo.
Yeah, Topo Gijo.
Is that what he says?
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Père Noël.
Well, Père Noël is the same Father Christmas. So I said, I think there was a Saint Nicholas that Santa...
A reference everyone gets from the first movie.
That's right.
Sure.
That's right.
First and only one.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Santa Claus movie.
Yeah.
Oh, she sure. Yes, okay,
Yeah.
that's right. I didn't get that for a minute. I was like, what are you talking about? So I said, I think Santa was real and like not really Santa, but I think he's based on, Saint Nicholas. There was a patron saint, right?
Yes.
Right, that
A
guy
person.
who was really kind or something. I don't know.
Does she have a tablet?
Yeah.
Hey, Alexa.
Does she know
Who
how
was
to?
Saint Nicholas?
Does she know how to go on Wikipedia?
Yeah, I mean, she knows how to. She could do that, but
Yeah,
you're
sure.
gonna ask your mom. So she did.
Well,
and I
Mom
told her.
doesn't know. Was
Well,
he based on
I
some?
actually- I
well,
think I said we
so.
gotta look that up.
Yeah, Topo Gijo.
No, I
you don't know. You don't.
Well, he's based on Saint Nicholas, but I don't really know why or remember. Like, I'm sure I
Okay.
read it at one point,
Okay.
which is how I know that. I don't know. Anyway, so she knows about Santa and the Easter Bunny now. So then I put her to bed that Saturday. So the kids are in bed, and then Jeremy and I have to sit down and fill all the friggin' eggs with chocolate, right? Because we've got all the plastic eggs, and we got to hide them all. So she's still awake, and she's like, "Mom, I can hear you snapping the eggs together. I know it's you." I said, "Okay, now that you know, fine, come on downstairs and watch us do it." So she did,
wow.
and she was.
That's the full-on meal deal there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, she was still
I
like,
gotta be
she's
honest
like, well,
with you.
last year I saw you hiding them, and I was like, oh, You did see me hiding them. Yes, that's right. You did.
Well,
So,
I have to be honest
it's
with you.
busted all now.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I
over.
think I was, I don't know at what age, but I think I was an avid believer in Santa Claus. But I recall Easter was not, I wasn't buying that there was a bunny bringing. I never bought that. I don't know. No, never did.
Oh.
Right.
I don't understand. At the age of 12, I'm surprised that she's finally going, is there an Easter bunny? Because really, do you really think there's a bunny bringing
Well,
the chocolate?
I don't know if she ever thought she did ask me this weekend, like when this happened this weekend. She said, "Well, were you ever going to tell me?" And I was like, "No, I wasn't."
No, she'll figure it out.
Yeah, but you asked,
You'll realize
so I'm
how
telling
ridiculous
you.
it is. I don't
wasn't
think
gonna
we've
tell
had
you.
like similar to last Christmas too with Harley, who just turned 12.
Mm-hmm.
She knows about Santa. She helps with Elf on the Shelf now for her sister, who just turned 8,
Mm-hmm.
which is super nice. I don't think either of them had said anything about Easter though,
Mm.
but we're not also showing them where we're hiding everything either. Like, it's still, even for Harley, it's still a surprise to go and hunt and find all the eggs.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, she
but
didn't
there's-
see where we hid them all, but she knew we were putting them together.
Don't use the plastic one. Just like put the individual eggs around. Why are you
I have so
creating
many
an extra
plastic
step?
ones because
Get
someone
rid
has
of them.
given us a ton of the. You might as well use them. I don't know.
The
That's what I
chocolate's already egg shaped.
Well,
do you want?
okay,
I feel like,
guess,
Rachel,
yeah.
this comes down to it. I think somewhere hidden in this is you wanted her to find out. You want this to be over with. You don't like
I don't
putting together.
know.
You don't like doing this, do you?
No, I like doing it.
No, you don't.
I like doing it, but I'm
No,
not
because
very
you
good
told-
at
you
hiding
t-
things.
you-
Because
you
even
told us-
Jeremy will say, "You bring home a gift for me, and then you hide it like under my coat."
Yeah,
And I
that's not
pick up
very
my
good.
coat, and here's this
That's not
book
very
that
good.
you've bought me.
But,
like, what
you-
the Rach? And I'm like, I know, I'm terrible at hiding things.
Well, yeah, but you also said you didn't want to do the Elf on the Shelf thing for years because
Oh, yeah,
it was too
yeah.
much work, and then you
And-
caved on that. and-
Yeah. Julia called me out on that too. She's like, "Well, what happened? You told me that the elf was allergic to our house."
See,
That's a good
And I
one.
said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I lied." She's like,
I feel like you.
"Why did you say that?" I said, "I didn't want to have to do it. Like, I didn't want to have the elf on the shelf."
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I
feel like this
find
is a-
out the better.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. But we're
Maybe you
still
should
doing
let
it.
your kids listen to this, and then they can find out from Rachel as
Yeah,
well.
you're welcome.
Yes. Blame
You're
it on
welcome.
Ruin
Rachel.
it for everyone.
Everyone's life is easier. You're
Yeah,
welcome,
because
parents.
Rachel wanted them to know anyway. So there you go. This is Due to Underwhelming Demand with Dave, Rachel, and Forman, the podcast that's sort of like when your team loses a playoff game in overtime.
What's that like, Forman?
It sucks. It kind of sucks, doesn't it?
Especially when the goal was scored by the son of one of the players who used to be in the same series who kept
Okay.
beating the same team.
Hey, by the time this podcast comes out, Forman, it could be a different story.
It'll be just like, it'll be a reverse sweep like the Kitchener Rangers just did to start playing the London Knights. They
Sure.
they were down by 3 and won 4 in a row, and they're back.
Look,
Yeah. Even I know that because I did my London Free Press podcast on that.
Okay.
And
Well,
I'm an
look,
athlete. I'm a
as
hockey
Leaf,
player now.
Right.
As a Leaf
So I
fan, not
care.
and not a a long. I don't want to be one of those long-suffering Leaf fans, but as a Leaf fan, I'm well aware that there is a long way to go, even as we sit here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
some people
Sure.
have them winning everything. I feel like I've been down this road before. Anything could happen.
You've been around, says Dave.
Yes, a few times.
He is not easily fooled.
No, not by this. Anyway, Forman, let's get to you. Foreman's got some office drama. Foreman, so
This is
a
our
new
brand new segment
It's
called
called
Office Drama with
Drama.
Foreman.
Yes.
Foreman's Office Drama.
Office
I
Drama.
don't know
with
how
Foreman.
much drama. I mean, maybe there's some people going off and talking amongst themselves about the incident.
Oh,
Which
the incident. There was an
The incident now. I like
I'm
it.
sorry. How long have you been working? For like a week?
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And boy, let me tell you, if you like listening to Dead Air, Country 104 is the station for you between 2 and 6 in the
God.
afternoon.
Oh,
Okay.
Foreman, that
They're
bad,
paying
huh?
you to not have dead air. Do you know that?
Yes, I'm aware of that, and it's getting better every day. Although every day I seem to screw up different things instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we made a point of your very first afternoon. My wife in particular really wanted to hear you. We heard a couple of your. I thought you did fine. I didn't hear anything. I thought it was fine. I couldn't tell. So
see, the audience doesn't know.
I couldn't
Goodness. Thank good. And my new boss, the manager I report to, said that she does not listen on the first day. She gives a first day a pass.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's good.
right.
Okay,
Perfect.
that's kind,
Perfect.
actually.
That's kind.
And but even though, I mean, a crazy small world story that turns out she used to babysit for Ashley's parents' best friends in the middle of nowhere, Northern Ontario, where she grew up.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's funny.
So you have a
Okay.
connection there. That's that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
So-
even a radio connection. That's cool.
No, not at all. Yeah.
All right. So
There was a first all staff meeting.
an all staff meeting.
Oh,
I
okay.
used
Was this
to
the first time you met everybody?
truly
No.
hated. I hated all staff meetings. Just
You
absolutely.
hated all meetings.
I hated
all
meetings.
meetings, not even
but
all. Didn't matter who was there.
Well, because an all staff meeting means I got to say hi to people I don't even know.
Well,
like, like you go, hey, how are you? Hey, Dave. Yeah, hi. I don't know who you are.
Okay,
Nice
it
to
wasn't
see you.
all staff. It was
my
it was announcers, hosts, other fellow hosts on radio stations.
Oh, that's even better. I used to know.
oh God,
I
it's all
usually
the
knew
on-air
who those.
staff.
I
A lot
usually
of
knew
talking
who
at
they
those
were.
ones.
Oh, it's a lot of talking.
I
yeah.
usually knew who the on-air staff was.
Yeah, but so there's 4 radio stations, so there's a lot of people in this meeting, and it wasn't really scheduled till late the night before, in my defense, but I knew that it might be happening. It wasn't for sure, so I arrived to the parking lot beside the building 15 minutes before this meeting, right? Perfect.
Hmm.
Perfect. I get out of the car, walk the 2 blocks up the street from the parking lot to these downtown London towers.
Right.
And that said parking lot requires you to pay, but you can do it on your phone. So as I'm arriving to the radio station building, I'm pulling out my phone and thinking, all right, I need to go through and pay for my parking today.
Mm-hmm.
Only to realize that parking app says the fee for that day will be $100.
What?
Yeah,
$100 to park downtown London?
$100.
For what?
Exactly. So the only reasonable thing you can do is to turn around, walk back 2 blocks, and go have a chat with the parking attendant.
Of course. Sure.
Okay.
Was this your friend Lefty that you'd called and he's supposed to
Yes.
set you up?
Turns out it was.
Why is Lefty charging so much?
He doesn't know. And there's 2 different QR codes you can scan at this parking lot. One says $100 and one says the daily rate of $7. He doesn't know why. While I'm there, why don't I just pay him in cash and I'm good for the day? Fine. So I have to have that whole explanation, that whole discussion, wait for him to fill out a little form. I have to go back over to where my car is.
Oh,
and back
no.
to now it's all ready.
I have so many questions here.
It's meeting time.
Beginning with what why is he called Lefty?
I don't know.
I hope
But
he's
won't-
right-handed.
I don't want to go down that road. I'll let you go back. So you're late. So what?
Oh,
you're
yeah.
telling
Now
me
it's
is
already 5 minutes late for this meeting.
You're late for the meeting as the new guy.
Yes.
Late for the all on-air staff meeting as the new
Was
guy.
everybody in person or was like some people on Zoom?
It was like 95% in person.
Oh, boy.
And then
Well
to
done.
walk into the building where the radio stations are, I have to go by the window to the boardroom where everyone is to get rid of my stuff to then go back. And they're in the
Here I
middle
am.
of talking
I've
over,
just arrived.
yeah, on Teams and whatever, and they're all in there. And I'm saying, sorry. And I have to explain this whole parking scenario to
Oh, my
everybody.
God.
Yeah. So you walked in and
Complete
said,
idiots.
I didn't want to pay $100 to park my car.
Yeah.
And they probably looked at you like, well, you don't have to.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And like the more you protest, like he doth protest too much, because I feel
Yes.
like the more your story has an explanation, the least likely it is to be true.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to see the guy coming late, and especially if he's got a roundabout dumbass parking story where he doesn't know what the hell's going on. Like
Did
there's not
everybody
a
say to
chance
you-
anyone believed me.
Did anyone say to you, go talk to Lefty?
No, not in that meeting.
Because they all talked to him.
And when I arrived, to add insult to injury, all chairs were taken, so then I had to leave again to go find a chair
my
from somewhere else
God,
and roll it in.
Oh,
that's the
Forman.
worst. That's the worst. when
Did
you show
anyone
up
say
late.
anything to you about that, or was they just all let that
No,
go?
There's a lot of it was a lot of what I would have done if I were already in there. Just
Right.
basically not acknowledging and
Yes.
just that slight
Look away.
turn of the head, look away, like
This
new,
is uncomfortable.
New guy don't know what he's doing.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
this is the guy we
that's
brought
so
on.
Awkward.
Yeah, that guy. You
Oh,
hired
I feel
that
so
dude.
bad
huh?
for you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, a
That's
couple things.
terrible.
Couple things for you, Forman. No, that's not an impressive way to begin.
No,
a couple things
no.
I need from you in the future. It's imperative in future episodes of this podcast that we find out why he's called Lefty.
Yes.
You have to find that
Yes,
out.
we
for
need
us.
to know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have to go back to him to pay him cash for a monthly rate now. At least with him and I
Oh.
figured that one out.
Okay. Well, that.
It's
So
also-
you found him in person. Was it the first time you'd seen him in person?
And he's he
Okay.
has a very distinctive voice. So his voice on the phone was exactly the guy in the booth.
Okay.
Oh, I
All right.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, how
Did
many
he sound like
how-
this? Is
yeah.
that what Lefty kind of
How
sounds
many?
like?
How many guys
more of a whisper.
named? Yeah.
Oh, it's a
how many
growly
guys named
whisper.
Lefty operate
Yeah.
parking lots? Come on. I mean,
Well, I mean, it's
Probably
either
a
that or a
lot.
tow truck.
really?
I feel
Maybe.
like.
Maybe a lot. He could be operating a tow truck. You're right. Never thought of that. Okay,
Lefty can
it's a-
only either run a parking lot or a tow truck. It's
that's
one
right.
or the other, and that's his whole destiny.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know about
Oh,
that.
that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
No. I think Lefty could be involved in all kinds of things. I'm sorry. Like, have you never watched Law and Order? Who do you
Okay,
think
well,
did it?
that's-
Well,
I mean, these
I
are
know
legal
Lefty was involved.
Lefty was there.
I watched
was
Breaking
there.
Bad. He might be on that show too.
I need to see a picture of Lefty. I don't care if you show it.
Take a picture of
just
him.
don't take a
picture
picture
of him for
tomorrow
me.
when you go back. Just be like, can I?
Don't.
Why is that going to ruin the mystery of the whole thing?
What I'm gonna slowly drive by his booth and just say hello with my phone.
I just
Yes.
feel there's some
I need
inherent
to know
danger in
what
trying to
Lefty
get a
looks
picture
like.
of Lefty, the parking
Well, maybe
lot
he's
guru. Come on.
Covert. Maybe he's covert. He's
The
underground.
second thing you need to do, Forman, is find the back entrance into that radio station, and I know where it is because I
Yes.
work there.
No,
There
but
are-
There's
that
parking
was
under the building.
one. That was one of the back entrances beside the boardroom.
Well, you got to find a different way in.
Oh, the walk-in entrance.
Yes.
I see. I thought you
Always
meant the
find a
parking
different way
entrance.
in. Then you can walk in and go, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was at 10:15. Right?
Right.
That's when I arrived.
Not on the hour.
That's right. Why would it start at 10?
And then me and one of the promotion
stupid
guys
thing.
both are going to the bathroom at the same time, and I get to the sink first, and I jam up the paper towel machine and left it.
Okay, you really are influencing people. Well done.
How to win friends and influence people.
This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast that, unlike a fine wine, somehow doesn't get any better with age.
No.
No.
I've worked with you guys for a long time, and I'm not better.
No.
So
I have nothing really to say about that.
That's
I'll
a
just-
loaded
I'll
loaded
just-
commentary.
Yeah, that's very much I'll just let that hang there. I mean, I don't know what to say
yeah,
about that.
it's, you know.
Someone's driving somebody's game down. Anyway, doesn't matter. We are Dave, Rachel, and Forman. It's time for headlines.
Real headlines.
Yes, it's been a while.
Has it?
Well, not that long, actually.
It's never
I feel like
really that long. They're never really that long. Foreman
2 weeks,
Forman
maybe.
constantly sends me headlines.
If only someone was propping up this bit.
Yes, and entertains the crap out of me. That's right.
Yeah.
Again,
there's- well,
who's better? Who's
But
better?
because I send them over time as I see them on a daily basis, and I just send them blindly, and I don't remember what any of them are. I know there was one today though that I sent that I burst out laughing sitting at my
I don't
desk
know whether I got that
after
but
said
it's just
office meeting.
Okay,
It's
but do
just
you
a cur-
email them to him or do you send them
No,
on
he
Instagram?
messages
Because
me.
Dave
Yeah.
can't find Instagram messages.
No, I can find Instagram messages when I get them. I don't know how to find them after I've seen them. Does that make sense? I don't know where
Snapchats.
I don't know where they go after I read them. I have no idea, nor do I care.
They're just there in the inbox. Like,
I
you
don't
just go
know.
back
I
to
don't
the
look.
same-
I didn't even
same
know
spot.
it was an Instagram message. It pops up on my phone. I look at it and go, ha ha, it's from Rachel. Okay, click off. Whatever.
I won't reply.
Yeah, I'm not
Right.
replying to that.
Uh-huh.
But Forman, ever so often I do reply, and it's occurred to me, Forman, that the one that I replied to over this last batch, I didn't put in, and I'm kicking myself. But I will use it later. I will. So anyway, Forman, thank you for sending me headlines. Thanks to anybody that sends headlines, especially like these are real headlines. I don't make them up, and people that send them to me don't make them up. Thank you, Debbie Gandon, for sending me this one. Here we go. Trump reverses Biden rule on shower heads that made it harder to wash his, quote, beautiful hair.
Headlines.
What? Shower heads. Okay.
Yeah, I think the president believes that that there's less. There probably is, isn't there? I don't know. Shower heads were made.
Like low flow, maybe?
Yeah, low flow, I think
Oh,
is
I
what he's
see.
talking about.
Okay.
Then
But
just
he
get
calls
a
them-
reg flow.
Yeah, Biden shower
Yeah,
heads.
why do you
I
have to
don't know what that
reverse
means.
the whole law?
Thank you,
Not a
Debbie, for-
federal law.
No, I don't know.
Isn't it?
Thank
I
you-
have no idea.
thank
I'm
you,
trying
Debbie,
to
for that.
ignore all that stuff lately because it just makes me
It's fine.
angry.
No, don't get angry.
No,
It's
I just can't.
This is why it's fun.
Okay,
This is
sure.
why we get headlines.
Yeah, make it funny,
here we go.
Dave. Make it funny.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Debbie, for sending that. Here we go. These are kind of a couple of local headlines.
Okay.
Guelph driver hits light pole and then still goes through Tim Hortons drive-thru.
That's an actual
What do I
headline.
do?
They hadn't
I
had their
need-
coffee yet, obviously.
I need my coffee.
You need that.
I need my
Otherwise, you can't go around hitting light poles all day. Just
No.
one. Learned your lesson.
There's a lot of headlines from Guelph. Like
Yeah,
when you
here's
look
the-
into
Really?
it, something's
Yeah,
up
here's
in
another
Guelph.
one, as a matter
Kind
of
of like
fact.
Norwich.
Here's another one.
Yeah.
Or what is
Guelph-
it? Norfolk.
Yeah.
Norfolk, Norwich,
Guelph
whatever.
driver tries to hide from police under kitchen sink.
Real
They
headlines.
must be teeny tiny.
Like in the cabinet under your sink.
Yeah, I mean,
Jam
that's
yourself
like
in
a-
there.
That's not a huge space.
No, it's not. That's why you would think no one will look there.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's okay. Fair enough.
Turns out
Yeah.
police
Police do
leave
look
no
everywhere.
no stone unturned.
Sure, Guelph police.
That's
First-
right.
Absolutely.
That's right. Well, police.
Okay.
Montreal man ticketed after his parking spot was turned into a bus stop. That seems unfair.
What?
Yes, it was overnight.
That is unfair.
It is unfair.
His parking
one-
spot is now.
Yes.
What a way to
Parked
find
there
out.
in the evening,
Yeah.
not a bus stop. Got up in the morning, was a bus stop, got a ticket.
Yeah, what
That's
a
weird.
dick move by the city. Jeez.
Yeah, kind
okay.
of. Anyway, but he was ticketed. So
All
I
right.
don't know. Headlines from around the world. Church in England trying to attract new converts by hosting pro wrestling.
That's an
Ah,
actual
Might
headline.
work.
okay.
Might. I doubt it.
Fun fact. Here's an
Yeah.
offside story.
Fun fact.
Oh,
what's
good.
that?
I once went to a local wrestling match put on by the pastor
church?
of a church. Yes.
There
And
you
he
go.
was, in fact, one of the wrestlers.
That's a completely
We didn't
different
stay.
story. We need to explore
another-
that first.
yeah.
I think
We
I would
do.
like to know more about that.
Yeah, it
Absolutely.
was-
your friend Lefty, the pastor. We would like to. I would like to learn more about.
I actually
him.
didn't know the pastor, but it was a town
Okay.
thing.
I'm
Anyway, it was
pretty
a whole
sure
thing.
his name was Lefty.
So I essentially went to a church wrestling match.
Yeah, okay. Well, that makes the headline less funny.
What? I thought that added to it.
No. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Forman.
Here we go. Fake maple syrup could flood the U.S. thanks to tariffs.
Real Real headlines.
They're really in for it now.
That's too
Yeah.
bad.
They're
That's
really in for it now.
That's really too bad.
Yeah.
You got to
Keep
have
it
the
down
real
there.
stuff. You need
Yeah.
the real stuff. Indonesian man follows Google Maps directions and flies car off unfinished bridge. Somehow escapes without serious injury.
Oh my God!
Headlines.
How did he die?
Well, apparently Google Maps has a habit of not necessarily knowing that bridges aren't finished.
Why is it on the
FYI.
map if it's not done?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Shouldn't be
there.
there yet.
It's just
It
it's
shouldn't
not
be
all
there
there.
yet.
It's just not all there.
Google hasn't driven its little car down
That's
that bridge
No,
yet.
apparently not.
yeah, but what about all the pylons and shit?
Well, you would think. You would think. You would think you'd see that.
It's clearly Google Maps'
Yeah.
fault.
Right.
Yeah. Memphis anti-violence meeting ends with 1 dead and 5 injured.
That's an actual headline.
That's not funny at all, Forman. Why are you laughing? There's nothing funny about
That was really something.
There's
went,
something ironic about it, but I don't
something
know
went
how.
wrong there.
That's not really a knee slapper. You know
No.
what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Nevada man, or is it Nevada? Nevada,
tomato,
Nevada, whatever.
David.
Man arrested with 7 emotional support tigers.
Wow.
Real headlines.
You can have 5, but you can't have 7. Hey, we have our
Too
limits
many.
here. Nevada has a
Too
limit on how
many.
many emotional support.
Yeah, there's always a tipping point. It's sometimes hard to find out.
Well, with that in mind,
Yeah.
here's our next headline. Angry woman escorted off flight after her card was declined for Pringles.
Well,
Headlines.
listen,
You know, everybody
know
has,
how much Dave
everybody has
loves
their
Pringles.
drawing line. Am I right?
everybody's got their line. Yeah,
That's right.
if you can't have your Pringles, David,
David?
what?
David.
I generally
You'd
for
be
the
angry too.
Here's
Yes.
the
You
thing
love
for the angry
Pringles.
for her next flight, if she's ever allowed on a flight ever again, buy a couple of cans of Pringles and just stick them in your.
I actually
carry-on.
do take
Yes,
Pringles on
that's-
flights because they
that's
don't
what
get
I do.
crushed in the backpacks.
Yes, that's
so
what I do.
that's
But fun
exclusively
fact,
what I bring.
you have to open them about halfway because you know the seal lid, like the seal cap thing on it,
Mm-hmm.
it puffs up from the air pressure. Just telling you, it does.
Really?
Yes, it does. I'm experienced with flying with Pringles. I do it all the time.
How do they store them on the plane then?
They stay in the plane, but they puff up. It just puffs
Mm-hmm.
up. Yeah, it's like you want to poke it with a fork.
Well, they
Yeah.
don't
Let the air
explode
out.
though.
They don't
Huh?
explode. Yeah,
Well,
they don't explode.
They could. I don't know.
You
I
have
don't
to
know
eat
how.
them. You might as well
I don't
open it
you know,
up.
I don't believe Pringles are lethal anyway, so I don't think it's anything you need to worry about. But anyway, man requires medical attention after getting girlfriend's hand stuck in his mouth.
That's an actual headline.
I don't want to know.
I'm
I
just glad you said
I just
mouth.
really. I don't want to ask questions. I have no questions for that. I just want to let that one go. I think that we
She
should just
couldn't
let
get
that.
it back out.
Just don't ask questions, Rachel.
No.
Okay.
Toddler accidentally eats cremated grandpa's ashes.
I
Real
saw
headlines.
a video of that.
That's
There's a
unfortunate.
TikTok
It's on
video.
video.
There
That's
is a viral. Yes.
Oh.
Yes, and it's
Well, now it's not
nice.
funny. It's
It's
not
like
as funny.
it's
not as
horrifying.
funny now. Okay. It's not,
Well, it's still
it's not as funny.
kind of funny.
it's well, yeah. It's got
Not
a
for
bit of-
Dad, I guess.
well, not for
Grandpa.
Grandpa.
Grandpa doesn't care. Come on.
He's gone. Yeah, he doesn't.
A couple caught having sex in public pool
Mm-hmm.
demand cell phones of onlookers.
Headlines.
No.
I don't think so.
Not
You do
until
that?
this backs up to the cloud.
That's right. I'm backing that up to the
Just you
cloud
hold
first.
on there a minute.
Yeah.
That's right. Man arrested after entering restaurant naked and flexing his muscles aggressively.
That's an actual headline.
I don't think I need to ask anything more. I think a picture
Yeah.
has been painted.
I
That's
mean,
all you need there. I
well,
don't think you need.
What did he look
No,
like?
you
I
don't
just-
need any more, Rachel. You
Okay,
really
all
don't need
right.
any more than that. Stop asking. Let's go to Florida, shall we?
Oh,
Let's go to
I
Florida.
thought that was in Florida.
No,
It
that's
sounded
not
very
Florida.
to me.
It
Okay.
could have been Florida, but it wasn't.
All right.
Here
Just
we go.
Guelph.
Guelph, yes, it could have been Guelph. Florida woman holds 2 boys at gunpoint for fishing near
Oh.
her house.
My God.
Real headlines.
This is why Americans can't have guns.
All right, calm down.
This is why.
Calm down.
They're boys.
That's supposed to make you titter a bit, not go, my God.
Well,
Florida woman arrested for selling human remains on Facebook Marketplace.
oh my God.
Headlines.
What is that, frowned upon in Florida? Come on. Like, is there a
One of
law
the few,
against that?
one of the
I mean,
few
come on.
things that are.
I mean, that would be my
There.
argument. Like, we don't do that in Florida?
Well,
I don't-
it's at least in poor
What, like-
taste. Just ask that toddler.
Wow, it
Yeah.
could be. Yes. Okay. Florida.
But I'm
Florida.
Hi-oh!
Hi-yo.
You're making the face of that dog, the meme that you send
That's
all the
What
time.
I'm
GIF,
picturing in my
the
mind.
gif of the
That's
dog that you always send.
That husky is
Yes.
the best.
That's Forman's
Florida.
face right now.
Oh.
Now I gotta find the gif.
No, don't do that.
Yep.
Florida man, it's GIF, by the way.
Is it
No,
GIF?
I'm not.
You know what? I had a conversation with my kids about that on the weekend. Is it GIF or GIF?
GIF.
It's,
I think it's GIF.
no,
Yes.
it's GIF. It was supposed to
G.
be GIF.
Like
Anyway,
moms like
doesn't matter.
you choose GIF.
Florida man arrested for wanting to fight
That's the peanut
Trump
butter.
naked to the death.
Sorry, say that
That's an
again.
actual
You're
headline.
interrupting my
I
headline.
was thinking of the peanut butter GIF. Okay, go on.
Do you want to do the headline?
No, I don't have. No, go ahead.
Yeah, you don't have. Florida man arrested for wanting to fight Trump naked to the death.
That's an actual
They're both
headline.
Well,
Yeah, I guess an all-out.
you just
I don't
you're
know.
it's like a duel. Like
Florida
you're just
man, what do you
chess-
want? Yeah, you just want
Like a Game of Thrones duel, but naked.
Apparently, whatever.
Why? Okay.
Let's move on. 11-year-old Florida boy training to become Florida man arrested after 2 failed carjacking attempts.
Oh my God.
There's just something
Headlines.
funny about that headline.
Yeah.
There's just
He is training to become a
something-
Florida man.
That's right. Just something
Here's
funny
what you're
about that.
missing. 1, you're not a man. 2,
Yeah.
you're not drunk. 3,
Yeah.
not naked.
Well,
4,
or you
nor
got
do you
caught.
have an alligator.
But you
Yeah.
did get caught.
You got caught.
Yeah, you did
Right.
get caught. Florida man in only his underwear destroys
Underpants, sorry.
underpants destroys merchandise kiosk at Disney World.
Headlines.
That's something you don't see. No, it's Florida. You do see that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually
man-
outside the gates of Disney, but
Yeah,
still.
usually
Sure.
not inside. Florida man charged after pooping out stolen diamond earrings.
Oh,
That's an
yeah.
actual headline.
Yeah. Well, at least they came
Yeah.
out. Oh,
I
here's
think
another
you-
story for you. My dog ate a googly eye, and I've not found that yet. So,
Rent a metal detector and
Yeah.
and
You
up
want to go
in your whole
searching for that,
backyard.
Rach? You want to go
I
digging
thought
for
maybe
that?
I would see it, but I haven't. So that's
Smiling, the googly eyes
The googly
staring
eye.
at
Just
you?
one.
Oh, okay. All right.
just one looking back. Yeah.
Florida man arrested for renting out home he didn't own.
Real
Yeah.
headlines.
That'll
That's
do
a
it.
nice try.
Well, that's
clever.
quick. That's
There's-
elaborate.
No, there's something to be said for that.
Sure. It was a
All
good
right,
try.
stay with me on this one. This is a little long.
Okay.
Florida man steals Cybertruck he took on test drive. The dealership found and repossessed the Cybertruck. Florida man is then arrested after returning to the dealership to retrieve items he left in the Cybertruck.
Headlines.
Okay.
Stole it.
Yeah.
They got
Stole
it back.
They found it
Wait,
and
guys, wait.
repossessed
I
it.
left my things.
That's right. Hey,
Hold on, one
I have
sec.
I have a few things in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Florida woman accused of conch bonking.
What's
That's
that
an
mean?
actual headline.
Well, do you know what a
Like
conch is?
conch shells?
Yeah, I think a
Shell.
conch. Yeah.
And bonking.
You're hitting them?
Yeah, you're not supposed to bonk conches.
You're not?
They're pointy. And
Why
sharp.
would you want to
Don't
bonk?
you hit the top?
It's sort of like the other. It's sort of like the selling
Aren't
the
the
human
conch shells
remains.
the
It's
one
just
that are, like,
it
curled
is
and you blow through?
Even Florida, even the state of Florida frowns on conch bonking. Okay.
Are we
Rachel
really
thinks
conch
you're
bonking?
talking about playing them like bongos and not what they're obviously.
Oh.
There it is.
Oh, there it goes. There
Oh.
she goes. Okay, one more. Drunk Florida man wearing pink wig, fake boobs, and a pink thong arrested at Applebee's for causing a disturbance.
Real headlines.
But what was he
At
doing?
Applebee's? At Applebee's?
Thought he just worked there.
That's right. That's Friday night.
Yeah.
$7.99 steak, mother.
Yeah.
This is due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast with Dave, Rachel, and Forman. This is the point in the podcast where we beg for sponsors. It's also the point in the podcast where we read your correspondence. So hang in while we beg for sponsors.
Yeah, because you don't want to miss this. I got another email from Forman's mom.
Oh,
Tee
you
up.
would have missed that.
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Hang on for that. Go to our website, underwhelming.ca. There's many ways where you can find out about sponsorship or buying us a coffee or whatever you need to do, because we need to keep the podcast alive, and in order to keep doing this podcast, it costs us a little bit of money. So any help you can give us would be great. We appreciate it. Dave Rachel Forman at gmail.com.
Or underwhelming.ca, yeah.
Okay.
Should I start with Forman's mom's email, or I have several
No,
others, actually? Okay.
Well,
we'll leave that to the
I
end.
wanted to shout out a few people who have welcomed me to the new radio station in this last week.
Which
Left
is?
some very
Which one is
Country
it?
104, which is turns out the slogan is actually #1 for new country, not #1 for country hits anymore.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, still
Got it right. You got it right.
Week 1, still learning.
Still learning.
Still have keywords every weekday at 8, 10, new tune, and noon, 2 and 4 to see Kenny Chesney at the Sphere in Vegas.
Okay, great. Yeah. Am I allowed to win that? Did you find out?
I did not find out, but knock
Okay.
yourself out. I'm not in charge of picking the winner, so try. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they'll recognize me. Okay.
But thank you to and several people who left messages that knew us and were happy that at least one of us was back there, like Wendy, who said, "Congrats, Forman. It was great to see you back." Jessica said, "I look forward to listening in as I also follow your podcast with Dave and Rachel. Welcome back to Country
There
Radio."
you go. Good.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
That's
Thank
great.
you very much.
Madison said, "My jaw dropped when I saw this. You and your trio were my go-to radio station in the mornings when I lived in London. The show was never the same, but we welcome you back, and we're so happy to have you here." So
That's nice.
Aw.
Very good. Very
Great.
good. Very good.
absolutely.
Great.
And this one is a test. This is a test to see the lengths that David will go to when he wrote, "This is exciting. I used to listen to Forman on the radio when he was on Hot Country 103.5. I live streamed his show here in Australia.
What? Whoa.
Then he just disappeared. So great to hear he's back on the radio. Now I can listen to him on Country 104, depending on the time difference between Australia and Canada, and live stream. But will he find us here? That's the question for David.
Wow.
Okay.
So he's just
All right, David.
He's
we have a
Forman
podcast
guy.
you can listen to any time of day.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's a Forman guy.
He's a
He doesn't
Forman
know
guy.
anything about Dave and Rachel. Just you, Forman.
Well, that's what I'm trying to see if he's finding out.
Okay.
Sure,
Well, he
okay.
apparently follows you everywhere except for that 15-year period where we worked at that other radio station. Weird.
And that station
Oh,
that I
time-
worked in between Country 104 and Hot Country 103.5 over in Woodstock.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay.
Right,
Well, all
right.
Whatever.
Okay. Okay, I have a couple of things. I have one from Sherry, who says, "I am so happy to hear Forman's going to be back on a country radio station.
Yay.
I guess
Me
I'm
too.
switching stations finally. I look forward to your podcast every week. Keep bringing
nice.
on the laughs."
Thank
Thank
you for
you,
listening.
Sherry.
Thank you.
That's so nice. I have one from Adam, who says, "I don't know how it has taken me so long to stumble on this podcast, but I am hooked. Walking the dog, running, drives to work. Anytime I can catch up on an episode, I'll do it. You've quickly become a staple, and I'm pumped to have so many episodes to catch up on.
Yes. You have
Rachel,
a few.
your recent tales of hockey adventures have had me in stitches, resulting in many a judgmental stare from the cutthroat teens in the neighborhood as they pass me on their e-bikes. Speaking briefly of teens and their e-bikes, I feel like they look like a biker gang, but all I can picture is my grandma on her mobility device scooter. You guys are great. Thank you, and keep them coming." Well, thank you very much. I'm glad
very
you
nice.
found us. I'm glad you found us. That's amazing. Dave Powery, who listens to us all the time, he says, "So was the rabbit suit the final straw at Heart FM?"
Oh, well,
The rabbit suit was the final straw for you at Heart FM. Congratulations, Forman, on the new gig at Country 104.
yes, I had secretly hoped that maybe I would be able to escape there without wearing that costume, but
But you didn't.
but I did not.
you didn't.
And Turns out in other messages from Dave Powery that he works at Mike's Electric in Woodstock, which is one of the workplaces I visited while wearing the rabbit suit.
Oh.
But
Did
he
you
wasn't
meet
there
him?
that day.
He wasn't there.
I didn't know that, and he obviously wasn't there. So
Oh,
just
that's
missed you, Dave.
Too bad.
Just missed you, Dave. Too bad.
That's too bad. Joanne says, LOL, oh, Forman, your voice was the highest pitched I have ever heard in that podcast about your daughter's crappy lunch. So funny. And
wasn't
by
crappy.
the way,
It was a good lunch.
well, according to your daughter, it was very bad. And by the way, Country 104 has been my preferred country station since the three of you left the other London unmentioned one. Congratulations.
Oh, that's
Thank
nice.
you, Joanne. That's so
That's
nice.
I've been
All right.
holding back on, but I've been hearing a lot of messages with a similar sentiment.
Oh, well,
okay.
that's
Well,
too bad.
yeah.
Hey,
if they find you, Forman, that's awesome. I think
Yeah.
that's great.
what can you do? Thank
Sure.
you.
I
That's
hope.
great.
Yeah, I
That's
hope.
awesome.
Thank you for listening.
I hope everyone listens to Forman. He does a great show. So there you go. 2 to 6 every day, right? 2
Yep.
to 6? Yeah. Okay. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Drum roll, please.
We're at a time.
An email from Forman's mom. Dear Dave, Rachel, and Forman. Get ready. Buckle up, okay?
Okay, is this a long one?
Yeah, it's long.
Okay.
But it's worth
Here we
it, I
go.
promise.
Okay.
This is titled The Frozen Breastmilk Saga. Dear Dave, Rachel, and Forman, the 40-year-old frozen breast milk saga has had its milk run, and all good things must come to an end. There is no point in crying over frozen milk. Why would anyone knowingly keep breast milk in their freezer for so long, you may ask?
Yes, I have been asking that.
We had a 1959 chest freezer that survived the move to our home that was built the same year Forman was born. His name wasn't Forman back then. Being a...
It isn't now, but yeah.
Well, it is to me. Being a typical mom, I froze breast milk in case it was needed by a babysitter. Forman was a colicky baby. I can't imagine. And could eat nothing other than breast milk until he was 11 months old, which meant he was an early talker, given his muscular cheeks, an asset in his broadcasting career. Your mom is hilarious, Forman. I love her. The 1959 freezer had quite a permanent thick rim of frost around the top, as it was not the self-defrosting variety. And it was a chest freezer, so things got buried in the bottom. In 2013, thanks to a government incentive program to round up and replace inefficient freezers, we replaced the still working 54-year-old chest freezer with an upright Energy Star compliant freezer. The frozen breast milk was discovered in the bottom, and I couldn't bring myself to discard it, along with other ancient frozen items Forman has so publicly described. I'm only half done.
Found
I'm only-
it.
No, it's
knew
not your
what
turn.
it was.
It's not
and
your turn.
And still moved it to a new freezer anyway.
Yes. My excuse for keeping it was that perhaps one day a bioengineering student may be interested in studying the content of the breast milk for contaminants that may have been in the environment in 1985. For example, the forever PFAS plastics. PFAS? I don't know. So it still sits in my freezer in a Playtex Nurser
It's still
bottle.
there after all this.
In a Playtex Nurser bottle. I think, I'm not sure, as I haven't laid eyes on it for a long time. It's a part of my legacy that my kids will have to deal with when I'm gone. At least it's not a frozen placenta or a frozen family pet cat or dog.
No, it is not. No,
Okay.
it is not.
Please see the attached photos of a chubby-cheeked 1-year-old Forman and his dad.
Yes.
He sent photos of you, which I'm definitely posting.
Oh yeah, they're pretty funny. They are funny. They're
She says, there's other photos of the highly paid intel agent who gave Forman the story. The one photo shows the full-on freckle face of the now mother of 2 teenagers, and the other photo shows the perp in undercover attire. I know who you are. Expect payback in the near future. I also know
Be pissed.
fed you the intel in the first place. You will not be spared. Love, Forman's mom. That made my whole day.
Absolutely
That
the best.
made my entire day.
That's just amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing.
She's a great writer.
She saved that breast milk to find out what the hell's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Just get it analyzed and find out why he is the way he is. That's what it is.
Yeah, get it analyzed.
In
Yes.
the one picture, just for the record here, of myself and my two sisters, obviously at the Sears Portrait Studio.
Yes. Look at your cheeks,
All
Forman.
three of us have puffy red cheeks.
You're so.
All of us.
You have the biggest chubby cheeks that are just so pinchable.
Well,
I was
because he's
told
got-
I was teething.
He's got the this is his mom explained. He's got
Oh
the
my
muscular. He's
gosh.
got muscular jowls.
Muscular. Yeah.
Yeah.
Muscular jowls.
Yeah.
This is I'm posting all these photos, so you're
I'm
welcome.
dressed like I'm ready to go to a cocktail party on a yacht.
I feel like you're wearing a Lacoste polo. I think that's the little gator.
I think so.
That's a fancy baby.
That's the best. That's the best.
You're saving money on formula. You can buy fancy clothes.
Okay. Pictures will be posted. Thanks, Forman. Your mom's the best.
I love her. Thank you, Kathy.